Lassiter Factor.
What's up, all my movie loving maniacs? This your boy Bangful be the Lassiter Factor, and part one of Stranger Things season 5 was released over the holiday break, and I finally got around to watching. So this is not a review; it's just more so me giving my thoughts on what has happened so far. So let's get into it. Now, I love Stranger Things. Granted, some seasons are better than others, but generally speaking, to me, this is like a comfort show that every time it comes on, I'm just excited to get back to, and I just love spending time with these characters. And every time there's a new season, I'm reminded of why I like these characters, and that to me is present within these first couple of episodes here. Because this is supposedly the final season, and it definitely shows here. Like, I just love it within a series or a franchise. They give like that final movie where there's going to be like some big final battle and just that final chapter. I just love how in the beginning they just make you feel like, all right, this is it. You better get on this train or it is going to leave you. And I just love where everybody in Hawkins, as far as the main crew of people that we hang out with, is at this point in this story. I mean, Hawkins is under quarantine, and the Hawkins crew, they all got their positions. Everybody knows what they're there for, and everybody helps out the best way they can. And I just love how everybody's in sync with each other. And I just thought that just makes the show feel like the show is starting out with a bang, because they found a window of where Vecna could be. So it's like, all right, guys, here we are. These are the codes. Let's get to it. Let's move. Now, again, I just like the character work and even the character pairings that we've either seen or never seen before, like Dustin, in which he has changed because his boy Eddie got killed in the last season. So now he's a little bit more darker and sullen, and he's like, all right, I'm not the fun, goofy kid no more, and he's out. He's out with a vengeance. He wants all this shit to be done, but he's also trying to keep the memory of Eddie alive. I even like that his relationship with Steve is tested because, Dustin, he's out doing his own thing, and then Steve, he's still his little goofball self. Every time a new season comes out, I'm just reminded of why I love the development with Steve starting out as the bully, and now he's just the lovable goofball. But I just like how he's kind of taking on the big brotherly or fatherly role, like the moment where he picks up Dustin after he got beat up at the graveyard, and he's just, oh, I had to do such and such, but here you are coming here looking like Rocky Balboa. I like how Will is given even more to do this season, and I like how they kind of give some closure to his implied sexuality within the show, because, you also got Robin, who is a lesbian on the show, and she's kind of there to be that queer mentor to Will Byers and helping him come to terms with who he is and how to come out. At least that's what they're implying. But either way, I just like how they paired her with Will this season. Because, yes, they should be the ones to get together because they're both similar in ways and help them, or at least she can help him come out of his shell a little bit. And even just beyond that, just his role with Vecna and how he's basically become the catalyst of everything that has happened this season. Will has become the catalyst of every season, and to me, this is starting to feel like this is the culmination of that, and he ain't no bitch no more. Like, no, I've been through enough of this, and I'm stepping into something that's a bit bigger than myself. Even steps up to his mother, Joyce, who so far I feel like is a little bit sidelined, but I do like how there's some conflict between her and Will because, look, for her as a parent, I get it. You lost your son that one time, and you just panicked, and you feel like you failed, and you have him back, and you're just doing everything you can to protect him. But at some point, he is still a grown boy, and you got to let him, as Mark Wahlberg once said, he is a peacock. You got to let him fly. Going back to Steve real quick, I like how they're going back to, well, not, I won't say like, but just kind of interested on how they're exploring the love triangle between him and Nancy and Jonathan. Because let's be real, even though he's cordial with Steve, there is still some animosity there between all the stuff that happened between the two of them in the first season. I do like how the Wheeler family is given just a little bit more to do, and shout out to Mrs. Wheeler right here. She is truly a badass. She took a Demogorgon head on for the sake of her young daughter, Holly, who did get kidnapped, and now she's in the upside down, and hey, she's one of the other younger characters that gets a little bit more than she ever did in the previous seasons. And I like how they address how, like, Nancy and even her brother Mike, they all kind of feel guilty about what happened to their parents. And real quick, Like even Mr. Wheeler, he y'all keep doing him dirty with each season, and now he's in a coma. Come on, y'all. But regardless, I like how she steps into that, big sisterly role, and she's well versed into everything that is happening, as well as her brother Mike. And I like how we get to see more of them two together because beforehand they just had that antagonistic brother sister relationship, but now both of them they both have shared trauma, and now it's affecting their families. So now it's up to them to find their baby sister Holly. Lucas, I do feel like did kind of get sidelined, at least for these first couple of episodes, and he just kind of relegated to being by Max's side while she is in a coma, in which we do find out that she's in this prison and she does meet up with Holly. Pariah Ferguson as the little sister of Lucas, I did feel like she did kind of get sidelined. I thought we'd see more of her, but maybe there'll be more of her. But then again, it always didn't always sit well with me how you made one of the few black characters on the show delegate her to the sassy black character. That always kind of left a sour taste in my mouth, which they did kind of less of in season 4 and now here. And she did have one of my favorite scenes in this season so far, where she had to basically drug a whole family with some pie, and the little sister wasn't buying it, and so she gets out a little needle and says, "Drink the damn pie." I love how she is accepting her role as just the character with the powers, and even like how she is supported by her two surrogate parents, both Hob and Joyce. But I will say her pairing with Hob, it was a bit familiar, but also kind of redundant because now they're stuck in the upside down, which I did feel like was every time it cut back to them the upside down, that's when I kind of checked out a little bit. And plus, it just rehashing things like I'm reaching my full potential, but he's just being an overbearing and overprotective father. And then they both have a heart to heart. To me, the jury's still out on where they're going with Linda Hamilton's character on the show, but it's nice to see her get work outside of Terminator. I'm really curious to see where they go with the reveal of 8 from that one episode from season 2 that everybody unanimously agreed was bad. I'm also curious to see where they go with Will having powers now. In all the 80s references, while more tamed as they were in previous seasons, but I did enjoy them. Like, I enjoyed watching a poster of American Tail in the background of Holly's room, as well as the Pee Wee's Big Adventure poster, and then even the needle drops I loved. And shout out to Robin for giving The Wiz its flowers. But those are just my quick thoughts on the first 4 episodes of Stranger Things Season 5. Can't wait to see the remaining episodes throughout the holiday season. So tell me what you think in the comment section below. This is your boy Bangful B of The Lassiter Factor. Stay safe, wash your hands, peace.